Thank you, my dear Mr. Pascal. So we will start within 5 minutes our wonderful sessions, the technical sessions, in which various topics in language teaching and learning, either in ESL or EFL settings, will be presented by wonderful educators and researchers from different parts of the world. We have got more than 10 countries in this particular conference. Like, as you can see, people are speaking from China, from Malaysia, from Egypt, from USA tomorrow, and also from Algeria, from Saudi Arabia, from Yemen, from India, and some other countries. You are all most welcome to this particular and these coming sessions. So please join us in 3 minutes. We will start the technical sessions. And we would like now to call the researchers in the first session to get ready. And now we will test the sound with them. So we will start with the first technical session that will be chaired by Professor Antar Abdullah Suleihi from Egypt. And we would like to call Dr. Murali. He is available here. Very wonderful. And also Dr. Pratab Thamar.
Yes, sir, I am here. Am I audible?
You are most welcome. Yes, you are very audible and wonderful. And also we have Buhaina Acharjadi, Department of English Language at Thamar University. And we have also Dr. Shirley. She is going to speak from Aligara Muslim University, I think in Aligarh, yes. So the four presenters are available. You can confirm, please, now. Yes, one by one. Okay, so Buhaina is there. Dr. Murali is there. Pratab, sir.
Hello, sir.
Is there. Amazing. And Dr. Shirley, Joy. Very fine. That means we have the first three available.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, amazing. Fantastic. Thank you for being on time.
At the present time.
So now I would like to invite Mr. Pascal to initiate the technical sessions. Mr. Pascal, please. So Mr. Pascal now maybe is having something to drink. He has been with us from the early morning. We really thank him. He is a master's student in the Department of Linguistics at Kerala University in India. And we are really thankful for his cooperation and support. We would like to attract the attention of our wonderful presenters that please abide by the time. You have 12 minutes for presentation. Then it depends on the chair. Either he decides that the discussion can be right after each presentation, or the four researchers can receive the feedback, or if there is any question or clarification at the end of the session. And when you reach the 10 minutes, we will try to ring the bell. The bell will be here to give you an idea that your time is approaching the end and you should conclude. Generally speaking, please try to don't spend much time in the introduction. We need the gist of your work. We need the fruitful parts in which you present the problem, and then what was the methodology and the solutions. We need the solutions, which are the results. So please bear with us and cooperate with us in terms of being punctual and winding up, finishing your presentations in 12 minutes. Thank you. So, dear Pascal, are you available, or I can take the lead? Okay. So we would like to invite Dr. Antar Abdullah to chair the session. Dr. Antar, are you available?
Yes, I'm available.
Okay, sir. So I would like to invite Sruti to introduce the chairperson. Though we have introduced the formality. Yes. Let us speak up.
It's a great pleasure, but we have
So the first presenter, according to the booklet of the conference in front of me, is Moral Christian.
Yes, sir, I'm here. Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Morali and others, please mute yourself until your time comes, because there is a disturbance in the sound. So, Sruti, please introduce our wonderful chairperson.
moving to our technical session. It's a great pleasure that we have
Connectivity problem.
Sir, no audio, sir.
Shruti, you need to unmute your.
There is no sound.
Your microphone, please. Shruti, thank you.
moving to our technical session. It's a great pleasure that we have an eminent scholar from the land of pyramid to chair the session, Professor Antar Abdullah, Professor of ESL and Applied Linguistics, College of Education, South Valley University, Egypt. As Dr. Amin mentioned earlier, Professor Antar contributed immensely in the field of language, education, teaching, and literature. He has more than 90 books in his credit and published 14 papers. And his academic endeavors are continuing. With all honor, we invite Professor Antar Abdullah to chair the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction, and I'm happy to have the presenters today. We have 4 presenters, and according to the booklet of the conference, the first professor is Professor Moral Krishnan, was an associate professor and head of the Department of English in the MES Sambi College in Kerala, India. And his topic will be about ELT for community engagement. I invite him to kindly stick to the 10-minute time and to start when he is ready.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Antar Abdullah, who is chairing the session. Let me also thank Dr. Shanawaz and Dr. Amin Ali. I hope I am audible there.
Yes, you're audible, Dr. Krishnan.
So, shall I move on to the presentation of the screen, like the PPT?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is that visible there, the other side?
We're waiting for that. Yeah, I can see it now for myself. My part.
Sir, can you see that now?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah.
Please go on. Please go on.
Okay, so I think I can start from here. Hello, shall I start from here?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Please go on.
Okay. So let me move on to the presentation.
Yes, go on. Is everything ready?
So the topic is English language teaching for community engagement. Now this is the entire paper or the entire the entire presentation is based on a personal experience that we had when we had for the last, I should say, for the last 4 to 5 years, when we actually went to the society, when we actually went to the community for the development of English language teaching and the spreading the language as such into the rural areas of Kerala. Now, I went to a few villages. Actually, the department, along with the postgraduate students, went to a few villages in the rural areas so that we could conduct various sessions in various places, and we had a particular, say, a short-term engagement with the society there. So that's what I would like to present here. Now, this actually triggered a lot of like ideas related to what kind of thing that we are actually doing from the theoretical perspective also. So what I'm presenting here is the real experience that I had from, I should say, 2016 to 2020. So moving on to the first part, the theory, as we all know, is based on what we call as the social or the service kind of learning. So community engagement pedagogies, it is also called as service learning, are the ones that combine learning goals and community service. So we are actually integrating two things there. We are actually conducting sessions for young kids and their parents, as well as like community leaders also, who are part of the program. Remember, I am not concentrating, or we were not concentrating on the school students or the young kids there. We were also accommodating their parents, who are of course not privileged to learn English language, and also the community leaders of that particular society. They were the target audience. So they were sitting there for the entire program. And actually, along with that, we had also other sessions also. I'll come to the details one after the other. So according to the basics of service learning, as we can see here, it is a teaching and learning strategy that integrates meaningful community service with instruction and reflection to enrich the learning experience, teach civic responsibility, and strengthen communities. So that is the basic principle that we would like to I would like to share regarding this particular practice. And let me quote from Eiler and Giles, that is, it is a form of experiential education. Actually, the theory came late to me, because actually we have been practicing it for some time. But when I tried to correlate the theory with the practice that we were doing, I could see that actually it is a kind of a practice which is generally, I should say, universally accepted in many parts of the world. Such things are happening. So in our state, we could easily implement with the help of the community. So it is that's why I said it is English language learning through community engagement. Now, this is the level, I should say. We have the student facilitators, the faculty members, and the community. There are three levels. For student facilitators, I said they are postgraduate students who are learning there in my department. They actually adopt authentic teaching materials. They focus on practical and meaningful communication activities. They maintain student-teacher rapport and interpersonal relationship, and they gain in-context knowledge about how teaching can benefit from various service learning activities. That is concentrated, actually, it is actually meant for the student. Now, moving on to the faculty members. Now, we are not directly involved in the work. The actual work is done by our own students, but we are present there. All the department faculty members are there to witness what is happening in the transaction process. So what we do actually is that we mentor students. So we mentor student teachers. We reflect on their own like teaching practices. If in case there is some correction to be done, we do that at the practical level also. And we engage in team teaching and group work, and we undertake professional development via context interaction. That is one level there. And as far as the community is concerned, that is our target. So we have school students who get to know an alternative paradigm of teaching learning experience. So they have their usual classroom, but Here, we actually provide them with a different paradigm, an alternative textbook as such, an alternative activity resource as such, by which they get interested to learn, or in the process of learning, I should say, is more interesting for them when we actually deal with them with this particular method. And then we have community leaders, parents, who get to know the means and methods of transaction. And I believe this can create a lot of democratization of the learning process, and it includes all members of the society. So there is a high element of inclusivity also in this particular practice. So nobody is sidelined, nobody is marginalized. Every member, whether be wherever or whoever it may be, they are all part of this learning experience. That's why we would say it is a kind of a community engagement. So when we went there, it is not just a matter of teaching of English. Side by side, we also had a program called collecting the e-waste, electronic waste materials from the same area where the school is located. So we collected them and we actually pooled them together. So it is actually a social service along with the teaching of English language. So I'm not moving on, or I'm not emphasizing on the e-waste collection. I'm concentrating more on the community engagement for the sake of teaching English language. And what are the general outcomes that we have identified? Because when students went there, we can see certain positive outcomes. The first thing is it had a positive impact on students' academic learning. So they know, means our postgraduates as well as undergraduate students, they know how they could accommodate young kids in the learning process. It improves, this activity improves students' ability to apply what they have learned in the real world. It can create a positive impact on academic outcomes. Like, what are the things that they learn along with this activity? If, for example, complexity of understanding, problem analysis, solving of problems, problem solving, critical thinking, and cognitive development. These are the learning outcomes. As well as personal outcomes, they have greater sense of personal efficacy, personal identity, spiritual growth, and moral development. This is also an outcome at the personal level. So moreover, they develop what we call as the interpersonal kind of a development. They have the
It seems Professor Moral is being disconnected.
It looks so, sir, but let's give him a chance. He still has 2 more minutes. If he comes back, that is wonderful. Because I was about to hit the bell, but he already disconnected.
Yeah, and he has been discussing the results of this wonderful experiment, so he's wrapping up anyway.
Yeah, anyway, he's a wonderful researcher.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I believe now we should go to the next presenter, that is Dr. Pratap, and then we will give a chance for the wonderful audience participant to ask questions at the end of the session for Dr. Murali, who has just disconnected due to some technical issues. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to thank Professor Mural a lot, in fact, for the nice presentation. And now we move to Professor Pratap Kumar Dash, who is an associate professor in English and CV Raman Global University in India. And the topic would be about the spoken audio versus spoken English, overcoming ELT teachers' dilemma in classrooms in vernacular schools of Odisha. Then I invite the presenter to kindly start.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name, mispronounced that or something.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I know. Okay. Honorable Chair and the wonderful scholars present in this international conference. Thank you for giving me this opportunity of presenting my paper. So let me share my PPT. Just a minute. Just 1 minute.
Sure.
Okay. Is it visible to all?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Very good. So the title of my paper is Spoken Odia versus.
Which is visible also.
Is it visible? Okay. Overcoming a teacher's dilemma in classrooms in vernacular schools of Odisha. So let me give you a brief profile of Odisha. It is one of the states in India with a population of around 4.5 billion. And this state has Odia as its language, but it has also some dialects. So far as its regions are concerned, for example, the southern Odisha people speak a different dialect of Odia, northern Odisha, and then central Odisha and coastal Odisha. Those people speak also different dialects of Odia. And my purpose is to show how these dialects have its impact, so to say, mother tongue influence in hindering the learning of spoken English, or maybe hindering the proficiency in spoken English at primary stage. Basically, my focus is on vernacular schools where our mother tongue is the main language, English is the second language, because in English medium schools, it's not at all a problem, because they speak English and the proficiency courses are there, but in these vernacular schools, the provision is a bit less. So in this way, I had made a survey, and also it's out of my experience that I would like to share that in southern Odisha and in western Odisha and the tribal regions and eastern Odisha, right from the beginning, the teachers don't adopt the right method of improving the fluency in spoken English. Normally, in primary and secondary levels, they put emphasis on textbook contents and adopt more, so to say, we may roughly say bilingual method or grammar translation method to provide instruction. And most often, as you know, code switching and code shifting like problems takes place for most of the students. And I found one more problem in the text design, that maybe since we prepare one size fit textbook, they are not suitable to the people having a multilingual and multicultural setup. So mostly I found in rural and semi-urban areas, students of primary and secondary level are unable to improve their spoken English, for which even if they try, there are several such problems. In addition to that, regarding the scope and proper motivation, we found it's less. Students fail to achieve the most minimum standard of fluency. So it has become a long-lasting problem for us. Most of the students at the primary level are reluctant to speak, or they have shyness, nervousness, lack of confidence as a result of the wrong pattern of instruction. And they also find the environment to be not suitable for improving the right kind of approach in developing spoken English. So in this way, I found that actually the problem lies in generalizing the problem. We need to specify. As elsewhere, I had prepared, given a proposal for a project of preparing a linguistic inventory in which we will keep.
Excuse me, Dr. Pratar, I'm sorry to
Yes, please.
interrupt you, but Abdul Hakim has presented. Please, dear audience, don't present while there is another presenter. So you can present again, my dear Pratar. Start again presenting.
Okay. What should I do, sir?
Present now. Again, start the presentation from the beginning to share. Start sharing.
Just just share your screen once again, please.
Please cooperate, because this online activities, they need cooperation from all sides.
Okay. So you mean I will present from the beginning?
No, there's no need to present from the beginning. Please continue from where you left off, but we would like you to share your screen once more so that we can see your PPT.
That's
Well,
yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it is now.
So let me make it full.
Professor seems to have accidentally left the meeting. He's back now. He's back now.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
I
know.
clicked the wrong button.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Is it visible now? Hello.
No. Yeah.
Is my PPT visible?
Yes, now. Yes, it is now.
Okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah, from where you stopped.
Okay. So just I was going to draw your attention to some of the problems associated with improvement of fluency of students in vernacular schools. As I highlighted, there are pedagogical, then psychological, socio-cultural problems associated specifically with the students. So for that matter, instead of designing a syllabus which is one size fit, we have to customize according to the need of the such specific students. The thing is that we have language policy as outlined by the national government, which we follow in designing the ELT syllabus, or maybe English language syllabus. But in addition to that, there is a need of preparing our own materials and methods befitting to the need of the local students, as I told you, because they have their specific problems. For Odisha, as I told you, in the northern part, in the western part, in the southern part, so actually they have a different type of accent. I found these are the problems that I show in this PPT, that we have some general problems in Odia that affects speaking English. Like this is one of the most important thing that we find, the final O, and then lack of sh. Then z is pronounced differently, and there is a problem between sh and chaw. So these are the general problems for Odia speakers. there is confusion between for like sounds. In addition to that, also we have confusion in the monophthongs, like so is not clear. So similarly, these are also some more sound related problems that I have mentioned here out of my experience and experiments. So these are also influenced by the neighboring languages of the state, like in southern Odisha, we find the influence of Telugu, which is characterized by suffix postpositions. And in the northern part, Bengali influence is there. In western part, Hindi influence is there. So accordingly, they speak English. So in this way, I also find that some typical sound problems are there in northern part, southern part, and western part of Odisha, which is found prevalent in learning English. So another problem is related to roticization, because at a primary stage, students don't have so much of consciousness, for which oo is a problem, ka is a problem, then dentals like da, da, these are also problems. Then lengthening the vowel or shortening the vowel is a problem. Weak forms is a problem. So these problems that I have pointed out. Moreover, typically Odia, when we translate it to English, it has got idiomatic senses, which is influencing or affecting the language learning or translating that into English. So this is how I have also recorded some of the common conversations both in English and Odia, but Odia, as I showed you here, Central Odisha, South Odisha, West North Odisha. So their structure, the sentences or the expressions are structured in a different way, which is not compatible with English. So my point is, instead of making this example of a short conversation, in which also I found certain problems. So my suggestion is, instead of making a one-size-fit syllabus, we have to find alternatives, suitable alternatives to design syllabus befitting the needs of the students of the specific areas of this state, where the strength of
Professor Dash, are you still there?
It looks like that, Professor Anta, when they approach the end of their time, something happens. So I think we can invite the next presenter, and then we will give these two presenters 1 minute more to conclude at the end of the session. Yes, Professor Anta. Unmute yourself, Professor Anta, please. Unmute yourself.
Professor Antar Abdullah, we can't hear you. If you can kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just forgot to unmute that. So I'm presenting Professor Buthaina Al-Sharjabi from the English Language Department, Faculty of Education in Thamar University in Yemen. And she will be talking about the effect of using audiovisual aids when teaching English language in basic schools in Thamar city, Yemen. Professor Buthaina, if you are available, you can start right away, please.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah Antar, sorry. By the way, I'm not a professor, I'm just a teaching member. Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, directly to the topic because of the time. At the beginning, thank you, and thank you for giving this chance for presenting my study. Let me share my PPT. Is it visible?
You can go directly to your PPT because yes, you are sharing. Okay. Make it full screen.
You need to click on the tab of the PPT.
I'm trying, but I think there is a technical problem. Is it visible now?
Okay. Yeah, it is now.
Okay. You know, in Yemen, teaching English language starts, it is a course. As a complementary course, starts from the primary stage to the secondary stage, and the name of the course is the Crescent, but there are shortcomings in the teaching process itself. Therefore, I carried out my study on the effect of using audio-visual aids on teaching English language in female basic education schools in Thamar city. The objectives of the study is to find out the effect of using audiovisual aids in English language teaching at female basic schools, to explore to what extent teachers use all audiovisual aids and its availability in schools, to assess the school's environment suitability for audiovisual aids by assessing the classroom environment, school administration, and teachers' qualification for the use of audiovisual aids. And the last one is to investigate English language teaching methods and the use of audiovisual aids. The study tools, I have 7 study tools: pre-test, audiovisual aids, such as cards, flashcards, wall cards, and cassette records. Activities were done in order to apply the audiovisual aids using them, such as on English language skills, grammar, vocabulary, listening, reading, writing, and spelling. There was a post-test, a questionnaire, observations, and conversations with the teaching staff. One public female basic education school was chosen randomly. 8th grade students, you can say here, 1 grade students with 2 groups of the same class. Pre-test was given for 100 students of that class. It was consisted of 6 sets of questions derived from what they have studied in their previous units. After the first group was the experimental group, consisted of 50 students being taught a unit of their English curriculum textbook with the use of audiovisual aids. Whereas the second group, which serves as a control group, was taught the same unit without using the audiovisual aids. A post-test also was given for students of the 2 groups. The test also consisted of 6 sets of questions from what they have studied in this unit with the use of audiovisual aids for the experimental group. And yeah, the test was given for both of them. Another one was a survey questionnaire, was designed for teachers. Observations also have been made around the 3 weeks we applied the study on. Oral conversations with English language teachers and school principals. Let's come to the results of the control group. We have here the difference between the results. It shows that it is very low and negligible, and that is because of 2 reasons. The first one was the pre-tests were from what they have studied in the previous unit of the first semester. And the time when the students were given the pre-test has already when they finished their exams of the first semester. So consequently, it was very easy for them to remember. And then results of the experimental group. We have here the difference of the results of the pre-test and the post-test of the experimental group. The results shows that the use of audio-visual aids in classroom has positively affected the students' acquisition for the learning process. Results of 6 language skills which were specified to examine for the experimental group. Through the results, we can find here the grammar. Look here, the results of the pre-test and the post-test, or the difference in the results is 2.21%. This means that the use of cards had a great effect for the students to learn English grammar effectively and easily. If we come to the vocabulary, also we use the flashcards, cassette records, and it shows the numbers, or the results here shows the results shows here we have what? The audio-visual aids or the flashcards and cassettes affected the students' vocabulary learning despite the problems that we met while presenting them. If we come to the listening here, yeah, through the results we have here, it is very clear that the use of the tape recorder didn't affect English language teaching, and that could attributed for different reasons. We can say the students didn't use to learn to the native speakers themselves. Also, you can say the students have a very limited vocabularies. Moreover, the cassettes were not well designed. It was also very difficult for students in this it was very difficult in this age for them to scoop or cope up the speed of deliveries. And then we come to the reading. It had been noted that the use of wall cards, flashcards, and cassette recorder in teaching reading skills was effective. If we come to the writing skills, here also, teaching writing skills was influential through the use of posters and wall cards. The last one is spelling here. Also, we can say that the use of flashcards and some activities that are related to the writing missing letters were effective. It can be here very clear that the effect of using audiovisual aids affected the English language teaching. Okay, now let's come to the results of the questionnaire. We have here, through the results of the questionnaire, the use of audiovisual aids and its availability in schools. Through the point 143, they reflect the absence of audiovisual aids in schools, which prevents teachers from using them in their classes. Also, the English language teacher has the ability to use audiovisual aids, and they only need training in order to know how to prepare and use them in the class, and that was clear in number 2 and 5. If we come to the classroom environment, Here are 5 points related to the classroom environment. Through the teacher responses to points 3 or to items 3, 2, 1, 4, and 5 shows the environment of the class is not suitable for the use of audiovisual aids. And those who respond to item 4, 5, and 2 don't mind if the environment of the classroom is not suitable because they don't use audiovisual aids at all, even if they are available in classrooms or not. If we come to school administration here, the percentages of items 7 and 8 shows that the school administration can't produce audiovisual aids because of the lack of required resources. And the teachers who responds to item 7, he or she doesn't need to use the tape recorder for listening comprehension in order to know whether the school is provided with records or not. And the results of the teacher who respond to point number 8 means that teachers don't care whether tape and teacher's guide in teaching English language are available or not available. If we come to the teacher's qualifications in using audio-visual aids, here we can say it can be concluded that teachers are not adequately qualified in, to use audiovisual aids in teaching English language classes, despite their knowledge about their importance. They know that they are very important.
Ms. Faina, sorry to interrupt you. You have 1 minute to conclude, please.
Okay, so also here the relation between the use of audiovisual aids and English language teaching. We have seen that teachers only use the only one method, that's teacher use the grammar translation method in order to be easy for them to teach the language itself. We have some conversations, we have here observations, conclusions, the use of audiovisual aids positively affected teaching English language at female basic education schools of the Thamar city. And large number of teachers don't use audiovisual aids because they are not available in schools. The school environment is not suitable for the use of audiovisual aids. And the classrooms are not suitable and comfortable. The school administrations are not provided with them. And the teachers here, they know the knowledge about their importance. Teacher integrated different aspects of classroom methods in teaching English language. For this reason, some teachers feel they don't need to use audio-visual aids. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Buthaina, for this informative and nice presentation of your study. We move now to the fourth presenter, who is Shirley J. Joy, the Independent Scholar of English in Aligarh Muslim University, in India. And
thank you, sir.
Yeah. And the talk is about innovative pedagogical styles in EFL learning and rural context. Is Professor Shirley Joy available?
With permission of the chair, I'd like to present my PPT.
Okay. If you are ready, please go on.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. I think you need to share your presentation, Dr. Charlie.
And also to unmute herself, please.
Actually, sir, there's a technical glitch, so I'm just, moving to it. Just give me 4 more minutes to just present my slide, please, sir.
If you have a difficulty, I can share your PowerPoint from here, from our side.
I think I'm visible. My PPT is visible, sir.
Not, yeah, now it is coming. Fine. You can go on, please.
So my topic for today's paper presentation is about innovative pedagogical styles in English language teaching, learning in rural context. I would start with a quotation from Gradol that throughout India, there's an extraordinary belief among almost all castes and classes in both rural and urban areas in the transformative power of English. English is seen not just as a useful skill, but as a symbol of a better life, a pathway out of all poverty and oppression. Aspiration of such magnitude is a heavy burden for any language and for those who have responsibility for teaching it to bear. The challenges of providing universal access to English are significant, and many are bound to feel frustrated at the speed of progress, but as we cannot ignore the way that the English language has emerged as a powerful agent for change in India. This, this quotation really reflects the deep roots of English in India, because English, though a foreign tongue, has occupied a unique status in Indian context. Because we can take, firstly, because it provides a linguistic tool for the administrative cohesiveness of the country, and secondly, it serves as a language of communication. And if we look at the history, there were various committees that came there were various committees and commissions set up by the government, has always given the recommendations and suggestions on continuing teaching of English. In fact, we can never forget the colonizers who were basically behind the exposition of English language. It was Lord Macaulay whose educational policies on English led to gain roots on Indian soil. That was formally given by Macaulay in his Minute on Indian Education, 1835. Lord Macaulay, the president of the General Committee of the Public Information, that is GCPI, in his minute, he justified the use of English as a medium of instruction and also the teaching of Western education to Indians, because he believed that Indian in blood and color, but English in taste and opinions, in morals and intellect. So, likewise, this was like a formal minute that was, came in India to spread English. Okay. Next, with the independence, came the Article 343, Clause 2 of the Constitution of India, which believed that, because I would take out here that India is a multilingual country. The Article 343, Clause 2 states of the Constitution with the coming of Constitution, it was recommended by the Constitution that English language shall continue to be used for all the official purposes of the Union for which it was being used before such commencement. And developing Hindi as a substitute for English, it was believed that after this period, both the states and the center would be able to dispense with English for good. And imposition of Hindi on non-Hindi states, particularly Madras and West Bengal, resulted in clashes. So this was Article 340. Again, they came up with that English should be there because, again, I'm telling you, different states, they have their different priorities, and especially the disparity between the north and the south. So the South Indians believe that why they need to learn Hindi. And so again, with this article, they laid the roots to develop English. The third was the Official Languages Commission Reports, 1955. According to it, this commission realized the unique position of English, differences between, again, South Indian and North India. Madras believed that they were benefited through English and for Indian unity. Okay, next came in 1966, the Kothari Commission. When again, with the differences between the leaders and differences of opinions, again with some people believe that Western education is going to bring a great devastation, and our Indian culture and Indian roots are going to be destroyed. And since then the Kothari Commission, laid this kind of a commission, that a report came that the adoption of Hindi as a common medium of education is not possible for some years to come in non-Hindi areas. They also kept this thing and it moved on. However, Kothari Commission in 1966 suggested that English should continue for the medium of instruction, that they also felt that English should be continued. Now, objective of teaching English in India. Basically, if we look at the objectives, there are two main objectives, that is language development and literacy development. At the junior level, what we require from the students is that they should understand spoken language, they are able to speak the language, write the language, and read the language. While at the senior level, it is the development of taste for English literature comprising of prose, poetry, story, etc. Drawing aesthetic pleasure from reading literature books, understanding critical reviews, ability to translate a text or a literary article, developing creativity in learners, that they are able to, write poems and short stories, are able to come up with their own creativity. Now, the importance of teaching English. Basically, if we see that there are 5 important points of, 6 important points, basically I would say that which states that yes, teaching English is very important in Indian context. First, that it is an international, importance of being as an international language, that it interlinks with different people of the world, and you can say as this language promotes international understanding and exchange of ideas and knowledge. Okay, next is the educational, direct medium of knowledge of modern arts, science, humanities, technology, etc. As this knowledge is published in a number of journals, books which are in English only. Vocational, provide opportunities in varied vocations such as diplomatic, foreign services, business, commerce, medicine, teaching, law, etc. Cultural, English widens cultural horizons. It develops scientific, technical, and commercial relations with other countries, and thereby exchanging different cultures and tradition. 2. Understanding of cultures become easier with the understanding of English language. Disciplinary, knowledge of English somewhere opens a way to learn what is good and what is not. Okay. Recreational. Now, recreational, we all know that reading for pleasure. Many of the people find solace and tranquility in the stories, dramas, novels, etc., translated or written in English. Now, coming to the context of rural India. Rural India, if we see that English is not so, easily accepted in rural context. They believe that yes, English is very important as a subject, and definitely if the children are going to learn English, they are going to be, definitely their future is going to be very, very secure, and of course a successful future. But if we come to the rural part of India, especially, when I interviewed fiber teachers and students in North UP, so what I came to, have an understanding is that is the deterioration standards as compared to urban learners. What I found out here through the teachers interview and also students, what the parents believe is, especially they are agriculturists, and when they send their student to school, though government has come up with very good initiatives of providing lunch, providing monthly for girl child education, providing scholarship, but what they believe is that if the child is going to help them, it's going to be rewarding in terms of monetary gain. So what is that? They do not, are not regular sending their children to school. So you can understand the mentality here that for them, if the children are going to earn, they are going to earn like rupees 300 per day. So it is more beneficial than sending them to school. Though they know that a school education is very important and it's going to make their child more competent in the future. And the next is the students are not proficient with the skills. Again, the reason I've already told you that if they are not regular to school, definitely the skills are going to be hampered. Then the lack of infrastructure. if we see that this infrastructure is also, somewhere because of the lack of the parents are not so competent enough, the competent because of the not so competent background. It is also somewhere it is affecting the whole context. Then examination oriented teaching and learning, majority not aware of technological advancement. Grammar translation method, again they are more focusing on grammar learning, more rote learning. They are the teachers are more focusing on rote learning. Then learning taken to be granted due to family pressures. Again, I told you. The next is reasons of failure to acquire mastery of English language. Like, what are the reasons behind? Like, assessment of learners' terminal behavior is evaluated on the basis of text and not skill. They are given a text, they have to rote learn, then the assessment is done on the basis of that, what they have reproduced. Then unequal opportunities in accessing English language. Students are not getting enough, opportunity to learn, access English language. For them, it's a foreign language, and to accept it is quite difficult for them. Okay. Then again, stress on grammar and rules, poor quality of English language teaching context in terms of infrastructure, in terms of teachers also, not so competent teachers in terms of pronunciation. Then poor quality of English language teaching context, inadequate support system in the form of teachers and teaching materials, lack of interest in students to learn English as it's not their mother tongue, less initiative to learn English as they know they're going to be promoted. Yes, this is one more point. When I interviewed one of the teachers, she told me that the students were not coming. I said, why the students are not having the regular attendance? She said, because they know that the rule has come of all pass system, so they know if they are going to leave their copies as blank, they are going to be passed. Quite on the students level, it's easy that if they are not studying also, they are going to be passed, they are going to be promoted. Then lack of motivation. Again, I'm telling you, the context is not favoring them. They are not motivated to learn English, to understand English. Poor infrastructure and overcrowded classes. When I interviewed one of the teachers, she said that 3 classes are being summoned together, and they are being teaching because lack of teachers are also there. And again, they have a program also that sometimes the child is much his age is much according to the level of students, but they are being sit in the same class in order to attain that kind of the competence, so that after they attain the competence and they are being
Dr. Shirley,
next,
could you please conclude in 1 minute?
Hello.
Yes, can you please conclude?
Yes, innovative pedagogical styles, that is a report of Onate Place 2018, mentions some innovative modern trends in language teaching. That is demonstrative learning. They came up with the demonstrative learning, like demonstrate, comprising potential educational projects, presentation of products through which students demonstrate what they have learned. It's also accompanied by digital and multimedia projects in order to assess students' oral and listening skills. Asset-based learning, focusing on the talents of learners by viewing diversity in thought, culture, traits as positive assets. Learner-centered approach. This approach basically focuses on critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, innovation, collaboration, teamwork, leadership, cross-cultural understanding, and communicating information. Technology-based learning. This type of learning has both teachers and learners to be linked to modern methodology and necessity of time. In fact, it makes both learning and teaching quite innovative. Now, yes. Now, innovative styles of teaching English in rural context. We can innovate like skill-based learning, focus on communicative ability, which could include all the 4 skills of English language. They can have different games to, to enhance students' communicative skills. Like, because they come from so poor background, but they know, like, we can start with the vocabulary, like, which vegetable is this? What is it? How is it pronounced? So we can start with the skill-based writing. We can make them write on the boards. Okay. Audiovisual aids, making students watch or listen to English news, short stories, poems, advertisements, etc. regularly can work wonders. Teaching through language enactment plays, again, because our own Prime Minister has now, laid very much emphasis on vocal for local. So I would, suggest like the locally, folk tales, and locally, they have this epics being, short. You can say short plays being played on the TVs and peer teaching. It involves one or more students teaching other learners. Harkness method of learning. This also I found in one of the white papers that Harkness method. The students sit in circle and certain topics are discussed. Oral poetry recitation is encouraged, and once students get comfortable, collaborative language games can be introduced, and later on complex activities and discussions can be included. Meanwhile, the teacher serves as a guide through the whole discussion. Inclusion of digital aids. Digital aids can definitely do wonders in teaching and learning. It helps learners to understand the concept along with the teacher's instruction. Like this teacher, if when I interviewed, she said they have no no other technological aid in the school. So I said, why don't you use your own mobile phone, your own to teach your students? Now, involving parents, we can conduct special sessions for parents to make them realize the importance of learning and teaching English for their children. Then conclusion, I would conclude here like this, that language learning can all be made perfect through constant practice and continuous exposure to the target language skills of LSRW, that is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Though it seems difficult, but applying, adjusting, and experimenting innovative methodologies can help learners to feel at ease with English language. Above all, a teacher can never be substituted for any other method experiment. His or her interference and motivation can only be a remedial source for change. Technological inclusion can make learning and teaching more entertaining and effective. Numerous other ways, all we try is to create a practical involvement of students which could lead to understanding and improving English language for rural students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Charlie Joy, for this nice presentation that is also informative and that is based on historical evidence and needs analysis of the role of local areas and as specified in your study presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. According to this schedule, I think we are having just now 10 minutes to finish, or more than that, Dr. Amin. And are we inviting participants to ask questions, or just I'm giving a feedback? I have some feedback to give each of the presenters, but I just would like to know if there is time for questions and answers or not.
Okay, so we can give them the audience time to ask questions, but first we would like Dr. Pratab to unmute himself and shoot in 1 minute and accidentally.
So I didn't get what you said lastly, so because there is a problem in the voice and sound. There seems to be.
Yeah, Dr. Pratab, you can just speak without video or without even presentation, just the conclusion of your study. Unmute yourself, and in 1 minute you can please state the conclusion.
So who is presenting now, or just give the feedback?
Yeah, we are giving a chance for Dr. Pratab. He left accidentally due to some technical.
Yes, yes, Professor Pratab, please go on.
Yes, sir. Hello.
We get you.
Yes, go on.
Hello.
Go on.
Should
yes,
I?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Should I give my conclusion here?
Yes, sir. The conclusion, please.
Yes. Sorry, there was a network problem. My conclusion is actually I want that the syllabus designers should focus on the local needs, the problems of, they should focus on the problems of the vernacular learners at the primary and secondary level. In addition to designing the text for the general readers, I mean students, teachers should also focus on the specific mother tongue influence problem and introduce spoken English from the primary level. In addition to that, they should also understand what is the problem associated with words and expressions or sound patterns in northern, western, southern and central Odisha. And also they should give priority to the cultural context, local cultural context in which students have some idea, so that they can translate that to into English and use for spoken English purposes, and that would also improve their confidence in spoken English. So this much, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, Professor Antar, you can open the whole session for discussion if there are some questions.
Yeah, okay. So I first would like to thank all the 4 presenters for the nice and informative presentations. In fact, I liked all of them because they come also and cover different topics in ELT, linguistics, error analysis, contrastive analysis, and program development. So every one of them has done very good effort and a very good presentation. So I also invite the audience now to ask questions and give feedback to whoever they like of the 4 presenters. So I think we can wait for like a message to be written for every person who would like to ask a question, and then we give the microphone to themselves. Or they can just unmute themselves and speak right away. Okay. Yeah. Or if there is a question, you can write in the chat box.
Well, it looks like that the audience are satisfied and they captured the ideas of the visitors. What we need now is
back to the presenters if there is time, just for 2 minutes or something. So that
yes, we can give time, and at the same time we have the emails and the phone numbers of all the presenters. If there is any question, you can write to us, and then we will write to them. Then we will feed back any person who has a question or needs clarification. I can see one question there, Professor. You can read it in the chat box.
Yeah. Let's see. The question is
yes, question for me. My suggestion is that primary, both at primary and secondary school level, the teacher should be well equipped to assess the learners' errors in speech, basically in spoken English, the sound problems, and also they should motivate them to speak more and more and better. And also they should take up the subjects, the context in which they are well equipped with, instead of giving a remote textual subject. If they ask regarding their own culture, their parents, their locality, their surrounding, whatever they know, so that would help them to translate the ideas better and be motivated to speak. I think Mr. Javed got the answer.
Yeah, and it is a very good answer too, because in fact, after your wonderful contrastive analysis of the sound problems and the problematics in sounds for Odisha, in fact, the solution for the problems of the teachers and the dilemmas of the teachers will be easy if they take these into consideration.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, there is another question for you. Can see it.
Yes, please.
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, Ramin, yes, you can ask a question. To whom?
Yes, to Dr. Pratap Kumar Das.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, so you were talking about spoken language, the differences at the spoken language at the regional level, right? When you talked about northwest, south differences.
Yes.
But if this is at the regional level,
yes,
isn't it possible for just the teachers to orient themselves with the difference? I mean, you talked about how there is a need to not have a one-sized script syllabus.
Yeah.
But that does not need to happen at the government level, right? Only the teachers need to be themselves oriented.
Yeah. Teachers need to design that. They should be well equipped with that, because government cannot do it altogether for all.
Yes, but
right now, yeah.
But what is the need for a syllabus in that? Because it is spoken English, it's just what they teach in the classroom. So I don't understand when you talk about the syllabus. Designing
No,
a syllabus.
madam, I'm not talking about syllabus. I'm talking about the need-based lessons they should prepare. It's not entirely a syllabus. It's a need-based lesson they should prepare on the basis of the local need. That only I apply.
I don't get it. Local need as in, this is just on spoken English.
Yeah, spoken English, but unless we get a context. So, for example, introducing yourself or bidding goodbye, these are very general things, but that won't help when a student wants to express more and more contextually. So, in addition to the textual matters, the prescribed textbooks, they should have their some local cultural context, maybe some social context, maybe something that the students know, maybe from sports, maybe from anything they like. So they should prepare some certain lessons to teach them, and simultaneously they should also find out the problem of sounds and syllables, or the spoken English problems, and help them to improve.
Okay, sir, in your PPT that was going so far, you talked about the differences in the consonants and the syllables and all vowels changes.
Yes,
that's what I was wondering about. How are you planning to incorporate that into the syllabus? Because I guess you did not reach up the local.
Yeah, not syllabus, ma'am. I tell you, it is related to the teacher's perception. They should do it regionally because it's not possible, and that way we should provide the training.
Okay.
Trainers should also provide the training.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, Prince. We have also another question for you. It's written by Randa Karpush about EFL prospective teachers preparation and in-service training for this problem in Odisha. So,
yes, it's not EFL actually here. It is ESL, but right now even ESL is not existing because we treat English to be a very common language for all purposes. Teachers should develop. Right now, what happens? We put emphasis on pedagogy, pedagogic skills. We put emphasis on different psychological and sociocultural aspects. But most of the teachers don't apply the sense of sound, phonetics, and spoken English problems at the primary level. So that creates problem. So I want to highlight, I want to make the teachers prepare to sort out the problems related to sounds, maybe syllables, stress and intonation, and then context.
Okay, thank you, Professor. There is a question for Professor Morales.
Professor, if you can read it, it's before the last.
Yeah, it's for Professor Morales, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, I am here, sir.
Okay, so can you read that?
It's a question. It's a community engagement needs to be scaled up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it has to be made broader and larger. Of course, it should start from the beginning, and it should be made part of the activity of the curriculum, so that you engage community throughout. It is not just a matter of focusing on something like 1 week or a 2-week program. It should be part of a curriculum of the state syllabus, so that you reach the underprivileged part of the society.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with this.
Thank you. Yeah. Are there other questions?
Let's take one last.
I have a question.
One more question. Yeah. So, Yohini, you raised up your hand.
Yeah, I raised my hand.
Yeah, Yohani. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the coordinators, presenters, and participants of this visual conference. My question is especially to Butania. I am not sure about the pronunciation of her name, from Yemen. I'm not sure whether she is available here now or not, but the
Yeah,
question
Miss
is,
Busaina.
her topic was, yes?
Miss Busaina.
Yeah, she's here, yeah. So my question to you, Dr. Bitania, is your topic was about audio-visual aids in teaching English language in basic schools of Yemen. And my question will be, what will be your suggestion in relation with using audio-visual aids in rural areas, in schools of rural areas, particularly in developing countries? Such instruments, audiovisual aids may not be available there. So what suggestion may you have to us to use in such situations? Thank you.
The Ministry of Education should provide the schools with different kinds of audiovisual aids. That is number one, to give opportunity for the schools to practice using audiovisual aids in classes. The universities should give a point and should support the schools with this point. Yeah, I mean the officers of any of the Thamar educational office, or I mean in general, if you talk about the development countries. They should interfere and exert some effort to encourage teachers to use audiovisual aids. Okay. So teachers need to be aware also of the use of audiovisual aids. I know it is very difficult for them to prepare it at home or to bring it to expense budget to give it from their expense, but I think we have some things at home, we can do it, or we can bring it with us to classes as teachers. Even if we are developed countries, just we can bring anything with us from the surrounding areas, from our homes, that can help the teacher to use audiovisual aids in classes.
I may add to that, just to confirm Ms. Buthaina's point. We have two types of audiovisual aids, high-tech and low-tech. So low technology audiovisual aids can be done by hand in very basic environments. There is no need to electricity, there is no need to devices to be used. So flashcards, for example, can be drawn, or pictures that can be excerpted from magazines or newspapers, or the teacher just himself or herself can be a visual aid by himself or by herself. Thank you, Ms. Hussain.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, most welcome.
Okay. I see that we don't have more questions on the text box. And I would like to thank all the four presenters and the audience and the organizing committee for this conference and for this wonderful session that I was honored to chair and to benefit from all the ideas that have been shared and the presentations that have been presented by the wonderful professors. Thank you all, and I wish you a very successful day with the conference today and tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Amin.
Thank you so much, my dear Professor. It's really an honor for us that we had you today with us in the plenary session and then in the sharing session. You are so wonderful and resourceful. In fact, we really appreciate and convey the thanks of Kerala University here in India and also the Thamar University in Yemen to your kind person for accepting the invitation and your cooperation. Thank you so much a lot, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Pascal.